Like all golfers, we're always trying to improve. Brendon, Todd working with Scott Hamilton just recently. And Scott, thank you very much for sending this information. So Brendon, like all of us, is looking for the right shaft and hits the ball just shy of 300. I mean, who wouldn't take that, right? But on tour, you want to get as much yards as you can. And apparently he's hitting this extra stiff shaft quite a bit to the right, inconsistent, just not working for him with his driver testing. Peak velocity 264 with the extra stiff shaft. Peak velocity on the with the stiff shaft 257. Basically the same, meaning the same thing. The COP trace on the right versus the COP trace on the left. I mean, if I could lay them over the other, they look the same. Same thing, compare that velocity chart to the left to that of the one on the right. I mean, you're looking at it verbatim, but there is a small difference. I want to show it to you. I bet you could guess that. On the left, the COP trace is, they're looking great and identical. But look at the peak velocity time the impact. We call it the release factor. And this is 49 milliseconds. We time the difference between the peak velocity to 0, and it is a mere 49 milliseconds. In other words, when you're swinging the ball towards impact, that club face has to square off in only this length of time, that little length of time. And if she don't get square in that amount of time, guess what, baby? That ball is going out to the right. And guess what Brendon was doing with that extra stiff shaft, according to Scott? She was not going that way. It was going that way to his right. Now, if you are a big believer in getting the right shaft, which I am, it's all I've been doing for probably seemed most of my life, this will be the dream fitting tool. And I can tell you honestly, I do not need to work with anybody else but just this on the driving range and a bunch of shafts. And when I see the correlation between hitting it wet, hitting it properly, and the length of time to impact from when they make that big move during the transition point, that peak velocity, my lord, we have a fitting tool second to none, and this should not be ignored. We've had a great time in 2014 as we begin to close this season, and I want to thank everybody because a lot of people have been thinking, boy, maybe Terry's lost it, and we have to thank uh, Patient Tech Vista, Robert Golden, Andrew Frank, John Thorpe, and Grant Dirksen for writing the software that's required to be able to do this. And some of your best deals that you've ever made in your life are on either the back of a napkin or on a handshake. And when we started this deal, it was a pretty cold day at the Hotel Fort Garry in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And we've taken this all over the world. Recently, we've had an order from the national golf coach in Lima, Peru. And Steve Chapman over there in Turkey with the national golf coach. And as we get ready for the Olympics, and I'm just going to bring the club face in square here because you got more time now. You got more time now here. You got 7 milliseconds more. So instead of that club face being pointing in that direction, guess what? Just enough time to square it off. And I guess if you're Brendon Todd and you won about $3.5 million in the last little while, you might want to just find that right shaft. And even if you make just 25 cents playing on a local game with your buddies, you want to win. That's the name of nature of golf. On behalf of all of us at BodiTrak, and again, thanks to Robert Golden, Andrew Frank, Grant Dirksen. Grant, you did an unbelievable job writing the software for us, and we can't thank you enough. John Thorpe, thanks for putting some great progress process into place and allowing BodiTrak to grow. And Bruce McFarland, Rem, all the BodiTrak guys. John McIsaac, NRG Golf, wow, what a job. Everybody, listen. Scotty, we can't thank you enough. Jim McLean, Tom Jackson, I got to say hello to all of our advisors. Just can't thank you enough. And, the Sheftics for allowing us to come into their lives and being able to take the time down in Philadelphia recently. We're learning every single day. James Hahn, John Dunnigan, our first customer. This has been an amazing year, guys. We're not going to do a big collage thing. We're just going to say thanks, happy holidays, take a few days off. If you don't think BodiTrak is one of the best instructional tools in the world, you know what? Go right here. Scott Hamilton doesn't even use the video anymore. Hello, Scott. See you guys. See you in 21.5 PGA show. BodiTrak, Hashimoto out.